Good day everyone, my name is Mr. Chinonso. In today's class, we'll be looking at materials and types of materials in basic science. Now, one thing we need to know is the definition of material. On the board, we said materials are resources. Resources means what? Those things you bring together to make a product. Materials are resources used in making products of technology. Before you make this, you gather things together to produce this. So those things you brought together, which are called raw materials, are also referred to what? Resources. They are used to make what? Finished goods. So when you're done with the product, we call that finished product because we are done making it. So before then, you call them resources because they can be what? Defined. You only bring them to make something like your duster, this and other materials we have. Now we'll be looking at what some of these materials. Materials include rubber. You find rubber, maybe your dad's car, the tire of his car is manufactured from rubber. We have wood, like wooden chairs or wooden cabinets. You find this on your wooden wardrobes. We have ceramic. We find this in probably the teacup used in taking your tea. Plastic. We have so many types of plastics. We can find this in your rubber, your water bottle, and other form of plastic. We have metal. Metals are found in different parts of your homes. You see that in your protector, which is made from iron, or your roofing sheet, which is made from, that is we call metal, which are ferrous metal and non-ferrous metal. These contain what? Iron, and these doesn't. No iron here. So this contains iron, this doesn't. So we have types of materials on the board. Now we'll be going through these materials and how to identify these types of material if you find one in your house. So we have number one, rubber. Rubber can be classified into two: the natural rubber or the synthetic rubbers. The natural rubber or the synthetic rubber. Now natural rubber, you can find it in your rubber ring, your rubber band using holding your hair, something like this. You can find natural rubbers are used to produce things like this. Your synthetic rubber are a little bit harder than the natural rubber. You find it in, told you, your dad's tire, his car tire. These are synthetic rubber, very hard, other than the natural rubber. Now we go to number two, which is wood. Wood also can be classified into two. We have the hardwood, and we have the soft wood. The hardwoods, some of the examples of hardwoods are the obeche, the teak, mahogany, and iroko. I'll take it again: obeche, teak, mahogany, and iroko. Now softwood include redwood, pine, and larch. Now to differentiate or to identify hardwood from softwood, most times we use softwood to produce our notebooks. Like the pine and the larch, they are used to produce notebooks or other form of paper that are little bit lighter or softer. Hardwood you find out in your wardrobe. Other woods, those wood used to construct your chair. Now we go to number 3, which is metals. Metals can be classified also into 2. They are classified as ferrous and non-ferrous. Now what are ferrous metals? Ferrous metals are metals that contains what? Iron, that have iron in them. Or they are stainless steel. This is what? An iron. It's a metal. Now non-metal are metal that don't what? That don't have what? Iron in them. Like your roofing sheet, the aluminium is what? A ferrous what? Metal. Your gold, your silver are also what? Example of non-ferrous metal. So you should be able to what? Differentiate between ferrous and non-ferrous. Ferrous as what? We said ferrous as iron, stainless steel, and non-ferrous, which are aluminium, your precious stones, gold, silver. So we can find non-ferrous in these materials, and ferrous metal in iron and stainless steel. So with this, we go to number 4. We're looking at plastics. Plastics, we also have 2 types. There are 2 types of plastic. We have the word thermoplastics and the word thermostating. Thermoplastic and thermostating plastics. In thermoplastics, these are plastic that are hardened when cooled. Now, when you heat this with fire, it gets softer and you can mold it in any shape. But when it cools, it gets what? Hard a little bit. So it is a bit what? Hard, softer than what? Thermostating plastics. So in thermostating plastic, as you heat it with fire, it gets what? Hardened immediately. You find this thermostating setting plastic in other plastic like your chair. This is an example of thermostating plastic. It's very hard, so you can sit on it without it bending. So we have other examples of thermoplastic plastic. Can you see this? It's very soft. You can press it in. So before you got this shape, it's being heated. So after that, it gets cool and it forms this shape and a little bit hard, but it's more softer compared to thermostating plastic. Now with this, we should be able to classify materials based on their types. Remember, in rubber, we said we have the natural and the synthetic rubbers. In wood, we have 2 types also: hard wood, soft wood. In metals, we have ferrous and non-ferrous. In plastic, we have thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. Remember, almost all of them have 2 types of materials. So we go back to this to define materials, and we go through this together. Repeat after me. Materials are resources used in making products of technology. These are products of technology. Remember, materials include 1. Rubber, wood, ceramic. So I'll give you one example of ceramic. material or product you take up is gotten from ceramic material. So we have our plastic, our metal. Now we'll be looking at the types of materials. One we said is rubber, and it has two types. The natural, remember things created by God are called natural. The natural and the synthetic rubber. This is created by man. This is created by God. So the natural resources are used to produce rubber like this, your rubber band, and the synthetic rubber are used to produce your car tire. This is a synthetic rubber. Now we know that wood, we said, wood we have two types. One is hardwood, obeche, teak, mahogany, and iroko. They are hardwood. You can use them to manufacture or to produce your chair, your wardrobe, and other hardwood products. We have the softwood, which we said redwood, the pine, and the larch. You can use your pine and your larch to produce your notebooks or softer board paper. Now we go to the metal. We say metal, we classify them as ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Now we say that ferrous metal are the iron, stainless steel, and non-ferrous are your aluminium, like your roofing sheet, aluminium, your gold, your silver. These are precious stones. We call these precious materials. Now we go to the number 4, which is plastics. There are also two types. Thermoplastics, which is softer than thermosetting plastics. So you can know that this and this are not the same. This is softer than this. This is harder than this. So when you see a very hard plastic, you should know that it's created from thermosetting plastic. When it's a little bit hard, it's created from thermoplastic. Good. So with this, I know that we can differentiate different types and classify them into two. I'll see you in the next class. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.